Hello and welcome to my review of the game Empyrion Galactic Survival. Uh, the footage of this is from the tutorial, which really just barely covers the basics. And depending on how much you die, take about 3 or 4 hours to complete. There's 4 game modes to this game. Survival is the main one. There's also a freedom mode, which, yeah, you can at least build a base and any of the ships in the game instantly. Everything else, though, you still gotta go through survival mode. There's, also well, they call that mode freedom mode. But it really isn't all that free. And then there's the straight out sandbox, where you're basically in God mode and can build anything, do anything at any time. And then there's the scripted mode. Give me a second. I'm trying to look at the wiki here on how to explain this, because there's variations between the Steam and Epic versions, and that's what I'm looking up, because this is the Epic version of the game after they've added the cross platforms. And it's kind of broke. I've had it when you send reports constantly since I've gotten it. And to be honest, I got it for free when Epic gave it away. Now, I remember reading that the Steam version has 5 of the scenarios, but when I looked at the Epic version, there's only 2. And even in game, it says you can get more from the Steam workshop. All in all, it's not bad for a 5-year-old game. And Epic doesn't have the DLC yet. And it is very open world. They do have a pretty nice website dedicated to it. The multiplayer is cross-platform. And just like every other survival game, you've got your resource gathering. It's got farming in a food system like Ark. Unlike Ark, though, you can totally wreck the terrain. You can even totally get rid of the planets if you got enough time. The physics is pretty good. It claims to have an extensive crafting system, but you basically get everything by level 20 to 25. I haven't gotten far enough into the test of this game to see just how many levels you can get. One thing about this tutorial, you have to give it time to register everything. It's kind of broke. After all, now I tested this 4 times because it was very, very difficult to get used to. I found out, even though it has controller support, they did a very crappy job. It's easier to play this game with a mouse and a keyboard. It's got 4 places you can start in solo, including starting like this in space, where you have to rebuild your spaceship so you can land. Yeah, unfortunately, you get to the get through the tutorial, get off the planet, and join up with everybody. That's the end of the tutorial. You can't keep playing with a more freer mode. It also feels like it limits how far you can go. But the part we just went through, if you don't give it time to register that you checked the teleporter, picked up the core, placed the core, and all that, like if you get ahead of yourself, which if you've played through games before, that happens. The tutorial will freeze up and you'll be stuck in space forever. Or at least until your air runs out. This will teach you the very, very basics of the game. sure you get your food, gather resources, upgrade yourself. And like survival, you get everything kinda easy. No real reason to build other than when the story pops up and says you need to build something. Now, going into survival mode, you get 3 data disks in your inventory that seem to be unfinished, that are extensions to the tutorial. I've tried the building the base one, that's why I said it seems unfinished, because once you get the basics of building the base from scratch, it comes up and says on to part 2 and says to be continued. And it's the same with covering your vehicle construction, which we don't get to in this video. Survival, like I said, has 4 start places. A temperate planet, sort of like this one. With indigenous life. And some things to do. And some basic resources. A desert planet that you get irradiated from nuclear war. I think that's the hardest one. One starting in the swamp. 5 places. Which is full of critters that can kill you, so you're wanting to get your weapons as fast as possible. One in the winter, where you're wanting to get warm as fast as possible. And then, like I mentioned earlier in the video, starting on a derelict ship that blew up. That it seems you have to fix quickly. Or at least get the things to get out of there somewhere safe so you can fix it later. There's a few. It's got plans for everything. And as you open up more of the tech tree, you can build bigger and better things as long as you've got the resources. There is money in the game. I haven't quite figured out how that works, but I think it's a form of digital currency. so I can convert all those gold coins into digital currency. Or find a USB with that person's digital currency that you can get as loot. Every time I've started the game, no matter the world, no matter if it's survival or not, you start with the same types of items. Your thing for gathering resources, a scanner, a tent, and a flashlight. Unlike the tutorial where you actually start with your spacesuit. Now, and the tutorial plays way differently than survival. Because I don't spend all this time tearing down ruins and crap in survival. You're too busy trying to survive. Yeah, all in all, it's not a bad game. It has a lot of issues that need updated. Especially since they've done that cross-platform thing. Because it seems to be catching little problems. So, all in all, it's not a bad game. It's not a great game. It's basically Ark in space, if I wanted to simplify it. Yeah, thank you. And anyway, as I was saying, this game's got a lot of flaws that some TLC from the developers could fix. Mainly the game semi-crashing once you get into survival. I think it's trying to find something with the original Steam servers that isn't there in Epic. And like other survival sandbox games that have the full basically cheat mode where you can build anything and do anything. Doing that will eventually bore the hell out of you and ruin the game. The F1 PDA, PDF, or whatever, is your best friend, especially in survival, unlike in the tutorial. Because since they don't give you clear goals, yeah, that'll at least give you enough of a rundown of the universe in the game to make your own goals. But there are stories. With each planet, it seems. Crafting interface is easy to use once you get used to it. But it's easy enough to understand that you get used to it pretty quick. And you can get a vehicle fairly quickly. It took me, what, 30 minutes? And most of that was figuring out where do I want to go to next. And gathering resources to do it. The weapons aren't as easy to get as they are in the tutorial. Same with the ready-made items. There's only a few more minutes left in this video. I'd say it's kind of addictive. Mainly in the trying to figure it out. I don't know what it takes to beat this game, or if it is a beatable game. Or if it's you just keep going on and on and on. Alright, we're getting down to the wire here. I really can't think of much else to say other than you do die easy. Oh, damn, excuse me. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope it helps you decide whether you want to try this game or not. See you around.